All right, Vikings, this is Mr. Powell of the College and Career Center. This next episode is Financial Aid 101. Get the truth about the FAFSA, the California Dream Act, and the Cal Grant. Hey Vikings and students and parents, welcome to Financial Aid 101. And first off, we're going to start talking about the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, okay? This application is free. It's at FAFSA, FAFSA.ed.gov, and it allows you to receive funds possibly through the Pell Grant, which is based on income level. So if you're a low income person, you will be getting federal Pell Grant. You can get student loans through the federal government, and you can also qualify for work-study jobs. Work-study is if you get a job on a college campus, you will be paid for the salary for your job out of the work-study benefits given to you by the federal government. Both the Pell Grant and the work-study funds do not have to be repaid, but student loans have a low interest rate on them, but they do need to be repaid. But you want to be careful and try to take out as little student loans as possible. Try to stick to the free aid as much as you can. So let's talk about some pointers or myths about the FAFSA. The myths are, I'm not going to file the FAFSA because I'm not going to qualify for financial aid. Well, the reality of the situation is that most students do qualify for some sort of financial aid. And you will not be able to receive any financial aid if you don't fill out a FAFSA. So number one, regardless of whether you think you can qualify or not, fill out a FAFSA application anyway. Okay? And file early. You want to file early because we have a deadline in the state of California. In order to receive Cal Grant funds, your FAFSA must be submitted by March 2nd. Okay? Your FAFSA application will also be an application to receiving funds from the state of California. So it's kind of nice that you're killing two birds with one stone with that FAFSA application. So all seniors in Montgomery High School who are U.S. citizens or resident aliens will file a FAFSA in their senior year by the March 2nd deadline. You want to file early and make that deadline because a lot of college programs and aid is tied into that March 2nd deadline, namely the Cal Grant, SRJC for free, and the Doyle Scholarship. In order to create your FAFSA, you must first create an FSA ID. All students must electronically create an FSA ID. Both students and one parent will need an FSA ID to complete the FAFSA application. So it's, like I said, it's a username and password that allows you to electronically start a FAFSA application and sign a FAFSA application. And you may also need to do that for other federal aid documents as well. So parents with more than one child attending college at the same time can use the same FSA ID to sign each FAFSA for each student. Each student must have their own individual FSA ID. But if you're a parent, you have two kids in college, you can use your FSA ID to sign both your kids' FAFSA applications. That's great. Okay. Another benefit of the FSA ID for parents is that when you're doing the parent portion of the FAFSA, you can use what's called the IRS data retrieval tool, which you can click that button and you can log in with your FAFSA username and password, and if it works, you will be able to import all of your data from the taxes of your appropriate year into your FAFSA document, which speeds up your FAFSA work tremendously. So if you can use the FAFSA IRS data retrieval tool with your FAFSA as a parent, you can speed up your financial aid application considerably. Okay? You want to list the correct parent information. As parents, are you separated or divorced? You need to indicate your marital status, whether you're divorced or you're remarried. You need to record when you got married, when you got divorced, and you have to report which parent the student lives with as well. If you're having financial difficulty, let the colleges know that through your FAFSA. If your family has encountered financial difficulties such as medical bills, job loss, you should notify the financial aid offices of the schools you're applying to as soon as possible. They can help you through the difficult choices that you're faced with, and they can also help you report that information correctly in your FAFSA application, so they can make adjustments to make sure that your student gets the correct aid. Okay, you want to parents, you need to record your assets and investments correctly. So investments and assets include commercial real estate or real estate that you own that's like a business. Your own personal home is not considered an asset for financial aid. This is like rental real estate. If you have trust funds, universal gifts to minors accounts or universal trust fund accounts, educational savings account like a 529 plan would be considered an investment. Money market funds would be considered an investment. Mutual funds, certificates of deposit, and also stocks, bonds, and other securities are considered investments, which you need to report in your FAFSA. Investments do not include the value of your primary home that you live in. So if you live in a $1 million home, you do not have to declare that as an investment. Any sort of life insurance that you have is not considered an investment. Any retirement plan contributions or 401k, pension plans, etc., IRAs, those are not considered investments. Okay? Yeah. So you want to record your investments and your assets. And if you have a 529 college savings plan, you want to report the value of the 529 plan into the FAFSA application. If you're from a higher income or a higher tax bracket, file anyway. While students of wealthy families may not receive aid based on need-based financial aid in the form of grants, the FAFSA is required to apply for federal student loans. So these loans have low interest rates, may be subsidized, and payment is deferred until the student leaves the school. Many schools also offer their own need-based aid for which a student may be eligible. Finally, schools often require the FAFSA as part of the application process for merit-based financial aid, such as academic scholarships. So if there's any doubt whatsoever, always file the FAFSA. If you think you make too much money, file it anyway, because you'll be surprised what kind of aid that you may qualify for. And then always ask for help. If you need help, you have questions filling out the FAFSA, you can call me on the phone or an appointment in the College and Career Center. Mr. Paolo, my email address is rpaolo@srcs.k12.ca.us. You can email me with your questions about the FAFSA, or you can also create an appointment with the FAFSA experts at the Financial Aid Department of Santa Rosa Junior College or Sonoma State University. That would be more than happy to help you with your complicated FAFSA questions. Hey Vikings, this was the first installment of Financial Aid 101, all about the FAFSA. If you like this podcast or you feel that it provides you some value, please subscribe on Anchor or on Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts or whatever podcast service you're listening to. You can subscribe to the Montgomery High School College and Career Podcast. If you need to contact me, you can contact me at the contact information below in the show notes. And if you have suggestions for future episodes, I would love to hear your comments or what you would like me to talk about. Have a great day, Vikings, and tune in for Financial Aid 101, Part 2, all about the Cal Grant.